Today I'm going to make a dish that I didn't know was a thing. And I discovered it was a thing at a restaurant in Washington, D.C. I can't remember what it's called, but the dish is called Shakshuka. And apparently it is a Palestinian, Middle Eastern, Israeli stewed egg dish. We grew up calling it Afghan eggs. In Pashto, we call it aghi de rumyan or de piaza sara, meaning just eggs with tomatoes and onions. It's really simple. We grew up eating this. It was my dad's job to make it. Salam kaka, hi dad. The great part about this dish is you don't have to get any of these things at a specialty Afghan market. I did today though go to the farmer's market and we did videotape that trip.
And she already got it figured out.
Oh, I know. That's right. That's why you gotta go with it.
That's it. You just gotta get out of the way.
And I have an assortment of spices here. Now you know what the big three are. We even use this in our breakfast dish. Okay, we have coriander, we have cumin, and we have turmeric. All right, these we're gonna use. I also, of course, have salt and pepper. I have some Moroccan paprika, which is not as smoked. You can see it's got a little bit of a lighter color. It's a little different. I actually bought it in Morocco. Some chili powder. We have sumac to put on the top when it's all done for a little more sour taste, and za'atar. You can also add this on the top. I have a very heavy cast iron skillet. Oh, it's very heavy. It's very well seasoned. I've had this for I think about 20 years. And we're gonna add some oil. Now, this is not a dish that's bad for you. So you don't have to use too much. Don't make fun of how I slice this onion. It's all wrong. Speaking of my dad making this dish, cooking for him always makes me a little nervous. He's usually super complimentary, but I'm not a heavy salter for my food. I don't use a lot of salt. So I think I've said this before. They used to say that my food was benamaka, meaning it didn't have any namak, it had no salt. So I used both of these really large onions because we're gonna cook this for a good long time. And we're gonna cook them so that they're completely, beautifully melted down. Anyway, point is, my dad with the black pepper, hold up, okay? You could not actually see the food through the layer of black pepper.
I don't sneeze easily.
This black pepper will change your mind.
We'd be so excited until we got downstairs and it would just be like a black pepper festival. One of the ways to help your onions along as you're going through is to add a little salt, right? Because you know why, right? Salt removes the water, the moisture from the onions and helps them break down. Now I don't know if you can see this, but they're starting to melt down and I've been stirring them constantly. I'm gonna add just a tiny little smidgen is a very technical term. I have friends that are chefs and they taught me the word smidgen. So now we're gonna cover that and get our other things ready. We're gonna core our tomatoes. I can give you amounts. I could tell you, you know, this is how many you have to use or this is how many you should use, but that would not be fair to you because I don't know how many people you're feeding. How you cut the tomatoes doesn't really matter because they are also going to turn into a sauce. Ooh, that looks nice. I'm gonna add all of these tomatoes and they'll also help add a little more moisture to the onions. I have a cubanelle here. I'm going to cut off the top of it. Throw that on the floor too. Take out the seeds. Throw that on the floor too. Shishkaya, jishratawaya. Shish kawalai se. It's China se kawalai. You can't do anything to me when I throw this stuff on the floor because you're in the camera. Somebody asked me to make chapli kebab. That's coming up very soon. It's just it was so hot since the tomatoes don't really have a lot of action. I meant juice. They're not giving me a lot here. They're not. I have some green onions here. We're gonna just cut off the ends that are not looking so hot. We're gonna use these things for garnish. And then I have 2 lemons. Okay, this is what it's supposed to look like. Let's start with some pepper. And then some turmeric. Coriander, another healthy cupful. We got some Moroccan paprika, dill weed, and chili powder. We're gonna coat all of this goodness and let these cook for just a little bit. I want the peppers to be a little bit crunchy, crispy. Squeeze half of the juice of one of the 2 lemons here. We're gonna add the other lemon to the top. Once the eggs are cooked, that's when we're gonna add the lemon to get it some really good freshness. Okay, now I don't know if you can see this, but you can see that the liquid is almost completely cooked out of the tomatoes, like all the water that I added to it. You can make this as saucy as you want, right? The eggs will need to cook in here, so you want to make sure that it's got enough liquid, I guess, kind of to poach the eggs. Now we're gonna add the eggs. Here's how you do the egg, right? You gotta make sure you make a little spot for the egg, right? So you and then you move on to the next spot. Make a little spot for the egg. I can't crack an egg with one hand. Ways to do this, okay? One of the ways is just doing the way I'm doing it. So you make little like holes around it. The other way to do this, let it set on the bottom, warm up your oven to about 375 degrees, and then put it in there for about 4 or 5 minutes. I'm gonna cover these eggs. Actually, I'm gonna throw these jalapenos on there first. I'm gonna close that, turn it down to about medium, and it's gonna take, I don't know how long it's gonna take on this thing, but normally it takes about 4 or 5 minutes. You wanna check it to make sure that it's setting up. Come on down and feast your eyes on properly poached, I think they are poached, Afghan eggs. Oh, I'm supposed to look over there. Feast your eyes on the Afghanistan agri Afghan eggs. The rumyan of the piazza sara nuke terhamut chak mi umur achawiditi kadi khwashwa. Shan? Okay, I'm gonna go get the boys and then we're gonna eat tashakur bikhider sasa. Thank you so much for coming here and being here and not giving up on me and going away to some other Afghan cook's channel because I know you would never do that. Bala aftaki bada khair sara sara we know.